What's going on, guys? FadeitLuie here, bringing you guys a brand new video. We're going to be doing a mid-fade comb over, so stay tuned. We started off by saturating the hair and combing everything in place and then holding up the hair. You always want to separate the bottom half from the top half, especially when the hair is long. Now that we're done making our canvas as neat as possible, we can move on to our Go effects and create our first guideline. You always want to contour your first guideline to their head shape. It makes the fade look a lot better. Now that we're done budding them out, we can move on to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. Closing the lever all the way and midway will help you erase that initial guideline. I'm also using my opposite hand to hold down the skin so it doesn't jump up when I move with the clipper. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to the one guard all the way open and create our third guideline. Here, I'm using the comb to feed the hair into the clipper. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated, man. Thank you. We're going to be using the same one guard but the lever to soften up the line and get it ready for the half guard. Now that we're done softening up the line, we can move on to the half guard and erase the line completely. Sometimes there's a little bit of a faint line still after using the half guard, so using the no guard all the way open in its corners to remove that line will help. Now we're moving on to the two guard all the way open and we're using the comb to feed the hair into the clipper. Remember to use the lever to soften up the line and get it ready for the next guard, which will be the 1.5 guard. Now that we're done softening up the line with the 2 guard, we can move on to the 1.5 guard and erase the line completely. Again, sometimes there's still a faint line after using this, so moving on to the 1 guard all the way open will help you erase that line. Now we're moving on to our 1 guard all the way open to erase that faint line. We're continuing to move up in guards, and now we're switching over to our 3 guard all the way open, and again we're using the comb to feed the hair into the clipper while we flick out. Remember to always detail with your previous guards. Now I'm going to be using my clipper over comb method to debulk. We're also going to be finishing up the blend. Now we're going to be cutting the beard down to a 1.5 guard all the way open, which is equivalent to a 2 guard all the way closed, just a smaller guard. Now that we're done debulking the beard, we're gonna move on to fading the beard. I always start off with my no guard all the way open and slowly use the lever to blend out the line. Then I switch to my 1 guard all the way open and then my 1.5 guard all the way open and use the lever between those guards. Moving on to his neckline, you want to make sure his neck and skin is nicely stretched because the teeth of the trimmer can bite him. Before I line up the bottom of the beard, I always like to lay my client down. It's more comfortable for the client and also it gives you more steadiness. Now that we're done with the beard, we can move on to his front line. As you guys know, I always start off in the middle and work my way to the sides. You always want to remember to feed the hair into the trimmer very slowly, because if you go too fast, the hair won't feed into the trimmer and it won't cut. Now we're moving on to the C cup. I'm starting off at the bottom and working my way to the top arch. Man, them lines are coming out real crispy. Moving on to the back, we're starting off with our Gold FX and we're continuing to bald him out. Now we're going to use our no guard all the way open to create our second guideline. Remember to use the lever midway and all the way closed to help you erase that initial guideline. Moving on to the one guard all the way open, we are nearing the occipital bone, so we're going to spend more time near this area. Again, we're using the lever to soften up this line and get it ready for the next guard. Now that we're done softening up the line, we can move on to the half guard and erase the line completely. Now we're using the 2 guard all the way open and we're flicking out. Once we're done softening up the line, we can move on to our next guard and complete the fade. Moving on to our 3 guard all the way open, remember to use the comb to feed the hair into the clipper. We are nearing the calic area, so you want to be very careful and make sure you leave a little bit of weight. Moving on to our clipper over comb method, again the hair is a little bit damp, so it's easier to grab the hair with the comb, so make sure you do that. Here we're adding detail with our previous guards. You always want to go over your previous work. Here again, I'm with the clipper over comb going over my work. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Also, leave a comment down below if you made it this far into the video. I'm definitely gonna reply. Moving on to the top, we're gonna saturate the hair and comb it in place. Now we're gonna grab a piece of hair and continue to make a guideline across the head. Now we're following the top guideline through the sides. Moving on to our Turkish razor Derby Premium blades, we're going to make them as crispy as possible. We're also going to do his eyebrows. What's going on, guys? FadeitLuie here, bringing guys a brand new video. We're gonna be doing a mid contour fade on my boy, so stay tuned. We're starting off by combing all his hair into place and laying everything down. Then moving on to our Gold FX, creating our first guideline, contouring to his head shape. As you can see, I'm making sure I dip near the occipital bone. Now that we're done balding him out, we can move on to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. Using the lever all the way closed and midway will help you erase that initial guideline. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to the one guard all the way open and create our third guideline. You also want to make sure you flick out. With this same guard, we're going to use the lever to soften up the line and get it ready for the half guard. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated, man. Thank you. Now that we're done softening up the line with the lever, we can move on to the half guard and erase the line completely. Moving on to our two guard all the way open, we're going to create our fourth guideline and get ready for the 1.5 guard. Remember, you're going to use the lever to soften up the line. Now that the line is soft enough, we can move on to the 1.5 guard and try to erase the line completely. Sometimes there's still a faint line, so moving on to your one guard all the way open and using its corners is best. Before we continue to blend in the sides, we're going to debulk the top with the 4 guard all the way closed. Now that the hair is knocked down to a 4 guard all the way closed, we can move on to the 3 guard all the way open and continue to blend the sides. Now I'm using my previous guards like the 2 guard and 1.5 guard to make sure I remove the lines. Always detail. Is very important to detail, especially when you want to make the fade blurry. Moving on to the back side of the fade, we're starting off with our no guard all the way open, creating our second guideline. Always remember to use the lever to erase the initial guideline. Now we're moving on to the 1 guard all the way open and we're creating our third guideline. We are near the occipital bone, so we're going to be spending more time here. Once we're done using the lever to soften up the line, we're going to move on to the half guard and erase the line completely. We are near the occipital bone, so we're spending more time with our half guard. Moving on to the 2 guard all the way open, we're preparing for the 1.5 guard. Now that the line is soft enough with the 2 guard and using our lever, we can move on to the 1.5 guard and erase the line completely. The 3 guard all the way open will help us blend into the 4 on top. We're also running a number 4 closed on the beard. When I fade my sideburns and beards, I always start off with my no guard all the way open and then move on to my 1 guard and then 1.5 guard. You also want to make sure you're using your lever when blending the beard as well. Now that we're done blending and removing all the bulk, we can line up the neckline. When lining up the beard, especially when the hairs are straggly, you want to make sure you're feeding the hair into the clipper while going slow. Now we're moving on to our C-cup. I usually start off at the bottom and work my way to the top arch. I feel like that's the most accurate way to get your C-cup arch. My client does have a very intense widow's peak, so we are going to debulk with our clipper. If you're a returning viewer, you always know I like to start my lineups in the middle or work my way to the sides, especially if they have a widow's peak. When lining up near the lip area, you want to be very gentle because the teeth could bite the lip. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Also, leave a comment down below if you made it this far into the video. Moving on to our Turkish razor and Derby Premium blades, we're going to make it as crispy as possible. We're also going to do his eyebrows. Always make sure you stretch the skin and keep the blade at a 45-degree angle.